at, what is anger, Look, when we get angry, we do not, we feel, our thought is very much projected outside, I am angry because of he did like that, he, she, very much outside. Whenever we get angry, all of us, we never check what is anger, Is the anger, where is the anger, Where is it coming from, We never question that. We assume that some sort of strong assumption that, yes, the anger is, there, the anger, and then I am feeling angry, or I am angry, First of all, we never even check, of course, we all never check whether I exist, we sort of take it for granted that I exist. Then on top of that, the anger also, we feel something as very, but if you check your mind, try to find the nature of the anger. What is anger? Anger also doesn't exist, And when you have that understanding, not just, theoretically, like myself, but when you truly understand that 100%, then I think it is called, turning the anger, turning the negative emotions into the wisdom, and I think, that is, sort of, what I can understand from my limited point of view. So that's why here in the Shanti Deva also it says, that what is this negative emotions that we have? Does it have a strong arm? Does it have an army at its command that we cannot overcome, If there's an army of 1,000 soldiers and we are alone, how can we overcome them? But actually negative emotions are, strong only because of our ignorance of the nature of the negative emotions. So that's why again, comes back to, realize the nature of your mind, That means, mind and anger is not something separate. Again, it means, when anger also springs forth from the mind. So when anger comes, look at the nature of the anger, look at the angry nature of the mind, and when you understand that anger, practitioners, they say, relax in the anger, when we ask holiness, how do you, how does we deal with anger, So when holiness just gave a 3 sort of, answer, he said, depends on, what kind of stage of realization, you are in. If you are a very, extreme beginner, then maybe you, not beginner, I would say, one way is through the remembering the impermanence of the impermanence of the things and controlling your anger. Because what you are getting angry at, maybe you are getting angry because, you are a very, famous person and somebody is saying very bad thing about you. But if you understand, impermanence, your fame, not only your fame, even your whole life, your existence is impermanent, one day going to disappear. So why make such a big fuss about it, In this, one of this teach, I think many of you know words of my perfect teacher. It says that people think that, no, it doesn't say like that, sorry. It says that, generally people don't like to, the talk, like Holiness said yesterday, want to talk about suffering, about impermanence. They feel that, it depresses people more. But that is because we don't practice impermanence and we, think about it, and then it is, depressing. We don't really think in a sense that integrate the knowledge of impermanence into our daily life. If we did that, then we will probably never get angry, Why will we get angry, Why will we get angry at? Because first of all, just that our body's impermanent is easy to understand. But that a person who is saying bad thing about you is also impermanent, Maybe a few years back he was your best friend, and now he's saying bad things about you. But again, another few years, he might be saying good things about you, So that understanding, when you truly, that is the one way, that's example of, how impermanence can, control the understanding of the control, understanding, integrating the understanding impermanence into your daily life can help you overcome negative emotions, In these words of my perfect teacher, he said that if you truly by the lay people, by truly understanding that this life is very short and very impermanent in a sense that there is no guarantee that you will wake up tomorrow. With that understanding, you should get along with your family more, because, many of us, when we have loved ones, families, parents in our life, we don't appreciate them, and maybe we are angry with them for some sort of, something they did few years ago, they didn't treat me well, or he did something, or she did something. We hold on to that anger to, stop us from, loving each other, caring for each other. If not that, at least having a good time together, We can't do that, Maybe, we want to go a nice cup of coffee, but that other person we hate is there, so we don't go, But, in the master, he said, that actually I didn't finish my point. And when that person, whom we actually love, but just our anger is holding us from loving that person, dies, tomorrow, then many people regret, Many people say that, I wish that he had forgiven me, I had forgiven each other, maybe, we have regret that, against the backdrop of having that person, not having that person in your life at all, he is dead. Whatever little few words, little hurt he has caused us is nothing. If I can have that person back, if that person can come back alive, I'll forgive everything, I'll want to be friends with him again. I'll be with, so so lack of, impermanence, So this master, in the word of perfect teacher, he said that, by understanding this impermanence, actually even the families will, get along better. Not only get better, but appreciate each other, because we, like I said before, when we have, our beloved parents, beloved friends, like right now, if from the point of view of the impermanence, if we truly feel the impermanence, all of us in this hall should be extremely joyful, extremely happy. Because I remember, when Holiness did the walking pilgrimage, we, after His Holiness finished everything, we were resting in this, where Buddha, went to Nirvana, Kushal Nagar, and then Holiness invited all the monks from Darjeeling to come down, from Nepal, the nuns, I think all nuns were already doing the walking, and most of the nuns and the monks, we all gathered. Holiness also invited, Berumbuchela, Mayumla to come to Kushal Nagar, and then Holiness said, we are very lucky, we are so fortunate, today. Berumbuchela is here, Mayumla is here, we are all here, So that shows, that moment, I sort of, only then did I sort of understood, what Holiness meant, What Holiness meant was, for example, right now, we are all alive here, Holiness is, our, Guru is in this world, all the Sanghas are here, all the great Drukpa masters are here, And tomorrow, if any of these great masters, were to, leave this samsara because, lack of our negative karma, lack of our positive karma or something, how sad we will be, But because of lack of impermanence, when they are here, we don't appreciate, maybe you all guys do, maybe this is more a reminder to myself, that, I should, appreciate it more, be more happy, just to be here, just to be in, if, not, here, at least in this world, together with these great masters, and if I can appreciate that, then, maybe in future, I will not be regretting. I'll not have a regret that I didn't appreciate it when these great masters are here, when these great masters are together with us, then of course, the appreciation comes, the happiness comes, everything comes, So that's, anyway, my point is, that actually, like Holiness said yesterday, understanding suffering will be the cause of your happiness, Understanding impermanence will not depress you, it will make you enjoy life more, Many people say that people who have got this terminal kind of disease, they really, enjoy life, Maybe they have only 10, 15 years or something, but sense of appreciation is there, Of course, some cannot have very positive view, but many who are able to have positive, they say that, they look at the world in a different way, their every day is like a gift to them, because of, understanding impermanence, So that's why, also, I have a friend of mine, from Europe, he had, of course, this, terminal disease, and now he's passed on, we were very young, maybe I was very young, maybe 10, 15, maybe I was just 15 or 16, So he used to get, very depressed, saying that, I'm, going to die, or, he didn't say it, but I could see that he was very depressed and moody, So, generally, of course, if I was a very, what do you call it, I don't know, what do they call it, politically correct, or if I had known good etiquette, I wouldn't have said to him, practice impermanence, I wouldn't say that to somebody who has a, very bad disease, But I said it because that's what I felt he needed, I suggested as a friend. He was Holiness, disciple. So then he was saying that, that is something I practice every day. Every day this is part of my life, But I said, when you think of impermanence, do you think you think only inside, or in a sense that you think only about your impermanence? Think carefully, We are all impermanent, We are all not going to exist. Go out, that time we were in the Chitri, where it's a very, the mountain and very, so I said, go out. He was supposed to be doing fasting, but, he was very bad health. So I said, okay, today, no need to do the fasting, you can go out, just look around, look at the sun rising, sun setting, look at the flowers that bloom, that goes down. Look at all of us, who is not impermanent, What makes your case so special that you have to be that depressed about, So, then I was later told that, he was really feeling, much better, Maybe they say, misery loves company, So maybe, maybe it was that, I don't know, But anyway, I also in some teaching book I saw that this, his, great master Tunjung Rinpoche, said that when he went, he was passing through Europe or something, he saw this lot of, very, beautiful cemeteries. So he's, Dakini said to him, oh, what a beautiful cemetery for the dead, for the dead people. So then, I believe, Kyabje Tunjung Rinpoche said that, yes, true, in this Western country, even though, the walking dead also have, very beautiful houses, So, he was talking about impermanent nature of all of us, So anyway, going back to the, going back to the topic. The Holiness told me that, one way of controlling your anger is through understanding the, meaning of impermanence, Another method of, controlling your anger is through development of great compassion, I think that means, again, I don't realize anything. So that's why, I'm, with the blessings of my masters, with understanding, I always get, maybe it is like that. I have, some sort of hint, So my hint is that, maybe it is because we get, what does compassion mean, Or love and compassion means that cutting down or minimizing our selfishness, When you are truly compassionate, means you care about others, the happiness of others you put above yourself, Then when somebody, let's say, somebody hurts you or somebody robs you, instead of just thinking that I am being hurt, he hurt me, or something like that, you can maybe go beyond and think, why did he do that, Why did he hurt me? Why did he come to steal, Then maybe, you can see that maybe that he or she person, himself or herself, is going through a great difficulty, which, compel that person to do that. Anyway, even if that person is not going to, not going through great difficulty, we are all, under compulsion, because, it says in the teaching, I was going to read it later on, but here the flow seems to be, it says that, nobody has control over their emotions, Do you have control over your anger, Do I have? I don't, We don't, Most of us, those of us enlightened, we don't. Do we consciously say, yes, I want to get angry and then hurt somebody? No, Most of the time we regret a lot later, especially if we hurt the people we love. So that same logic applies that person, who is doing a lot of bad things to us also is controlled by that emotion, That's why in the Buddha teaching says that, what is the most precious thing to the people ordinarily? Their life is the most precious. But when they will, to protect their life, they will do anything. Yet, when they are controlled by strong desire or dissatisfaction, people even take their life, So that shows, who is really in control. So, with this logic, you can see that poor people, who are hurting us, actually are hurting not only us, but themselves equally, So, they say that from the Bodhisattva point of view, when they look at the angry person, I heard that it is called, they say, how they treat it, they say it's like if a mother has a crazy son, whatever the crazy son says, mother will not mind, the mother will love that son, because she says, my son is mentally unbalanced. He doesn't know what he is doing. He has no control over his action and his speech. So the same logic, applies to all others who wish to, not wish to also, I can't say who wish to, who cause us harm, who see, who do harm to us. They are also, uncontrolled. Beyond, they are also not in the control. It's their negative emotion, with the source, of course, is ignorance, like I said before, which is causing causing for them uncontrollably, to hurt us. So, from the Bodhisattva point of view, of course, another Bodhisattva point of view of using great compassion might be, in the Bodhisattva we very much believe that, not believe, we understand that, all the sentient beings in the world, firstly, they are all our parents, our fathers and mothers, of the past life, That is the first reason, why we, and if you can truly, this is not, one way this is a logic, another way this is, many people don't like to practice this, but actually this is a very great method, one of the methods. Because if you can truly imagine some, others beings as your parents, then, a little bit hurt that they cause us, bad things they say to us, little bit cheating they do to us, we don't mind, because compared to the, the love, the care that my father, my mother has given me, little bit of hurt that they do to us, little bit of, fewer cheating, if you compare it to their kindness, it's nothing, actually, you feel that compared to their great, gratitude that I feel for them, even if they kill me also, I will not kill them. I will still continue to love them, because my parents, first of all, they are my parents. Second of all, they are doing it beyond their control, without knowing, in the this, when we were young in this place called Chitri, Holiness always, does this in the night. He always does this Om Mani Padme Hum in the sweet melodious tone, and then he says that if we in the night, if we recite the Om Mani Padme Hum very loudly, and those spirits who hear it, will be benefited. Those spirits are also our parents, our past life. So then, when we think about that, we feel, very sad, because, these evil spirits or, whatever, or those people who hurt us, it's like if our parents have gone mad, and unknowingly, they're hurting their son. And one day they wake up and realize they're hurting their son. How sad that will be, So anyway, these are the thoughts that, used to serve. Anyway, what my point is, that visualizing and understanding all the sentient beings as your parent is also one of the great methods of generating compassion, great method of dealing with, negative emotions. Then the third thing, Holiness said was, that if you are advanced enough, then when the anger, arises in your mind, just relax in the nature of anger, No need to, push the anger away, No need to react to the anger. Just let it be, Let it be, Anger is also part of the nature of the mind. Anger is also emptiness. Anger is also non-existing. Anger is also, if realized, the Buddha, I don't know which Buddha, So, so anyway, these three are the, the sort of the methods, that His Holiness, sort of taught, sort of, explained. Of course, I have, not been able to follow any of these three, like either first or second, but, I do remember it, very well. So anyway, now, going back to the, the Bodhisattva, I'll just read, like a few sentences, which I feel are sort of, like sort of, so very sort of meaningful, I think. Yeah. Basically, it says that, why we should. First, I think it's sort of few sentences about why we should not be, angry. So it says that many of the merits we have accumulated for thousands of years will be destroyed in a single great flash of anger. We all know that. That's why one of the reasons why we do dedication. So, and such deeds, and among all these austerities, we can do. Like many of the in some tradition, there are a lot of austerities. They don't eat, they don't drink water. They stand on their 1 feet and lot of austerities. But among all austerities, the best austerity is, controlling your anger, actually developing a sense of forbearance, and that is actually I will say, even more difficult, than, sitting on your leg for a few years or something like that, because, because, sometimes, even after you've done a lot of austerities, and again, when you're supposed to be a great saint also, there's a, great saint or whatever, great, also, if you are not fully realized, even though you have done a lot of austerities, your anger, you tend to really, your defilement of negative anger, comes out. So then, other few words of encouragements are, I'll just explain. It says that, if you do not, develop the forbearance, then even if you give money to your friends and your families, but if you are if you do not control your anger towards them, and even if you give money to, sort of balance it, it will not balance, and they will definitely, one day, or another, turn back on you, and maybe even hurt you. Then they, sort of, I'll just, just another one or two sentences. It's the cause of the anger, what it says. Getting what I do not want and all that hinders my desire. There my minds find fuel for misery. Anger springs from it, oppressing me. The food of the anger, it says, therefore I'll utterly destroy the sustenance of this my enemy, my foe whose sole intention is to bring me injury and sorrow. So, this is the cause of the anger, it says, actually it means, it comes from, it means the desire. It says dissatisfaction, is the fuel, that burns the anger, like the food that sustains, of course, we get angry because we are dissatisfied with something. If we are satisfied with what people say, what people do, the house, everything, why will we get angry, Of course, the dissatisfaction. So, then there was another, so it says, so what we have, the training that which is recommended, is that we have to train ourselves to overcome our dissatisfaction. We have to train from the small, It says that some of the people, they, some doing austerities, like they say, what does they say? They, cut themselves, they cut themselves, they cut their body, they do a lot of things in the name of the, the name of doing something, some sort of, practice. So why don't we, all, and they can, bear it. So why don't we also, what to say? Why are we, so sure, so what do you call it? Not sure, Why can't we also train ourselves to, bear the small discomforts by slowly bearing the, anyway it says, that by slowly training yourself to bear various discomforts, you will, slowly your dissatisfaction will decrease, and then, your practice of forbearance will automatically, develop. I think, that was the one reason why Holiness always takes his disciples for this walking pilgrimage, etc., I think Holiness, sort of, I think through these methods, he really wants to sort of, sort of minimize our dissatisfaction, by going through the great hardship, so that actually, what we had when you come back looks pretty great, So I think, that was, that's one of the reasons. And he's, here, like what is, and there was another, just one last sentence, yeah, if this is, it's about, why we should not be dissatisfied. It's, if there is a remedy when trouble strikes, Actually, in the Tibetan, it says dissatisfaction. What reason is there for despondency or dissatisfaction? If there's no help from it, what use is there in being sad, So if you are dissatisfied about something, and if you can do something about it, then go ahead and do it. Don't be dissatisfied about it. If if you are dissatisfied about something, and there's nothing you can do about it, then don't be, because you getting dissatisfied and that leading to anger, does not help you, does not help the situation. So do not be, So anyway, now I think, and there's another things, do we get angry with our cold? Do we get angry when we get fever? We say, do you get angry? We don't get angry at our fever. We say, that is because fever doesn't have, fever is brought about by circumstances, not by, fever did not say that, he wanted to come and give me fever, give me headache, So the following sentences says, that same thing applies to all the, negative things that people do. They are also controlled by circumstance to do such things. And these circumstances also do not think that, do not have an independent mind saying that, I am going to create this circumstance so that this person will hurt this person, So that's why thinking of that also is again, one way of, controlling you. Anyway, I think, my time for today is sort of up, and I, do not, I think we all are looking forward to, again, teachings of, from Bhutan, and also to the, having His Holiness, if possible, I'm sure, Singitewa practices. So, anyway, whatever, but if you all have time, you all should really read, along with many other great teachings, the Way of the Bodhisattva by Shantideva. It's one of the most great teaching, profound, yet very simple to understand, But in a nutshell, like I said, you have to know that as long as the ignorance is there, defilement will always be there. We'll always be in samsara, no matter, the temporary anger management you might have, it's just be temporary solution. So, before we conclude and, dedicate, just, again, once again, I would like to express, my joy, and my gratitude to all of you, each and not only the people who organize this, but each and every one of you, it's responsible for this ADC, ADC is happening, this ADC is happening because of the great masters, like I said, everything interdependent, great masters, and those of you, great sanghas, and with open heart, all of each and every one of you is ADC, each and every one of you is making the ADC possible, and for that, for doing something to serve, the wish of His Holiness, serve the wish of Dragon Masters, serve the wish of, I truly feel, very happy and rejoice, I'm not using the word thanks, because I've been at my advice that, thanks should be, politically correct, it should be on the last day, but I, I'll be, maybe a little bit, not politically correct, but not use the word thanks, just to say, I truly feel great joy, and great appreciation to, all of, each and every one of you, thank you very much. Balon to buy, see bed, so land, draw,